Air Community Band, welcome to the rehearsal video for Pat Burns' hometown. I'll do my best to make sure that I can help you out so you can do your best. I'm here with Alex and Joe. Alex is gone. He's done the recording, the rehearsal video, please, for Fandango, and plus the performance video. So he's on his way home. By the way, everybody, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're having a great one. I wish you could see what I'm looking at. There's a portable recording studio here in the middle of Stewartstown Presbyterian Church Fellowship Hall. It's just amazing, the equipment that Joe's brought here. Thank goodness for this, and thank goodness for the opportunity to do what we're going to do. And thank goodness for people who understand this kind of technology. What will we ever do without them? And that brings up an interesting point. I have found just within the last semester or so, as I'm doing some lessons online, that there's so many resources available out there. I know that so many of you are looking for playing opportunities. You want to get your instrument in your hand again and get back to making music. Well, we can't get together. That's just the way it's going to be. Please know that a lot of people are working on this diligently. We will get back as soon as we can. And also, use these resources online. They're great resources. They not only have accompaniment, sometimes more than just a piano, sometimes it's an entire orchestra accompanying you. And you can actually download the solo part, your instrument part, so you can print it off and then have some fun playing along with it. So just to let you know, I hope you're as excited as I am. All the way through this process, please, I'd like you to have a pencil to make these marks in it, please, so that it saves us all a whole lot of time. Now, I say that a little bit with tongue in cheek because there will be a few people in band when I say that, when we stop and I say, now mark this, I'll hear a couple of pencils hitting the stands. But please, whatever you do, help yourself out on this. And help Joe out. He's the fellow who's going to have to put this together. And the more accurate your recording is in alignment with the beat, the easier it is for him to put this together. Regardless of anything else you do, please work hard at that. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. That can become counterproductive. Whatever you do, you've got to kick back, relax, enjoy this process for what it is. You just simply aren't going to get it done in one night. You are going to have to work at this a little bit. Get those instruments back in your hands. Get your endurance where it is, your control of the instrument. Get the air going again, flexibility, fingers are working. And you'll need those fingers working, by the way, for Fandango, as you know. In order to create what Pat wants, be flexible with the tempo. This piece is rubato throughout. Don't get caught being getting too much in a rut. You've got to watch, you've got to listen. The changes, the stretches they can catch you by surprise. That's why it's worth your while to go back and listen. By the way, Joe picked out an excellent recording. I'm not so sure. Oh, by the way, while I'm at it, this came in my head. Pat Burns says this about this piece. It's the only piece he's ever written that he would not change a note. And I think that's an interesting statement. The best thing you can do to help yourself be successful is to practice. Listen, watch, imitate. It's just that simple. I found this to be the case as I was preparing for these videos. This is such an interesting and such an intricate piece of music. Tempo-wise, placing that beat where it goes. As you listen to a recording where you don't have control over the tempo, it's in charge. You got to follow it, and that just takes a little bit of practice. That's all. And the more I prepare for this event today, to do these videos, the more I realize the value of listening, practicing, going back and doing it again and again. It's not a bad idea to memorize these places where the tempo changes and where the beats are stretched. To that end, subdivide. All the way through here, right from the very beginning, from the beating, from the clicks to the hand clap, start subdividing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1. And that'll help you. It'll help you to keep from rushing. It'll help you to keep from pushing the tempo at places. I suggest you get used to doing that. It's what every good group does to conquer tempo problems in slow music. Excuse me, I'm looking at my notes here. For many of you, the music moves in eighth notes. I'm looking at measure 8, and I'm looking at measure 21. Listen for these places. There are instruments that have running eighth notes in the background. Dee da, dee dum, ba, dum. And they're subdividing for you. And a lot of times the melody lapses into eighth notes. Or at least some stretches of eighth notes. Use that, please. That's a crutch. Keep the air warm. We've talked about this in the past. You just simply must keep the air warm. Practice that as you get your instrument back into your hands. Excuse me, and you prepare for your recording you're going to hand in. Practice that warm air. Fog your glasses up. That's the way to work it. Let me demonstrate the 5 beat for you, please. It's going to be like so. 5, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 1. You won't be able to miss. It's broken into 3. 1, 2, 3, plus 2. And we'll keep the 5 at that all the way through. And of course, 4, 4, and 2, 4, and the rest of those things in there are traditional. Please, I'm talking about rushing figures. At measure 4, alto saxes and second and third clarinets, you got that triplet figure at measure 4. And others of you have the figure. Stretch that out. Don't rush. Don't rush, please. And there's no need to overdo dynamics. I know, and as you go back and listen to this recording, you'll hear there's never any overblowing all the way through this. There's that place where the music reaches the climax, but it's not overwhelming. It's contained. Keep that in mind all the way through, please. If you have a moving part, bring it out. As you listen to it, you'll discover that. There are places in here, and I'm not going to point them out, or where the seconds and thirds come in before the first, for instance. And that's a little bit reversed from the normal way composers write. Work on this to get that stylistic lilt. The dotted eighth and the eighth leading to the downbeat. Dee, da, dee, da, dee, da, dee. We've talked about that. That'll also help you to maintain the tempo, but it'll help you to create the lilt, and that's important. And if you don't sing during this piece as you're playing, you're doing it a great disservice. And know how important the inner voices are, especially as they move independently. And again, here, second and third trumpets at 47. That's just one place I'm pointing out to you. But people all the way through here have independent voices. And sometimes it's only a few of you. I'm looking at the third measure, and I'm seeing that the alto saxes have an independent line, please. Excuse me, that's with the second and third clarinets, but that's That's the supporting part, please, to the melody. Know how important you are all the way through this piece, please. Now, that all being said, what I'd like to do is to just have a go at a couple of things. I'd like to take this from the very beginning, please, to practice this click and the hand clap so we know what we're doing when it comes time for you to actually record yourself. So I'd like to do it from the very beginning, right off the get-go. Right off the get-go. Please write this down. Use your pencil. Right off the get-go. Second measure. The 2 half notes on 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. They're stretched. I mean, right from the beginning, the rubato kicks in. Okay? In order to get the meaning of what Pat's trying to say, that's necessary. Here we go. I'd like to play up through measure 5, please, or to the downbeat of 5, and then we'll stop there. We'll do.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 2, 3, 4, and clap, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 2, 3, ready, play.
Okay, that stretch, don't do it as I do. I have the tendency to anticipate it. Stay with it, stay with it. Listen for the click, practice this part, and we're gonna do that again, one more time, just to get used to it, okay?
From the click?
From the very beginning. Yeah, from the beginning. We don't have to do the clicks. We can.
Okay, let me start the music then. Yes.
Right on the music?
You got it.
Here we go, everyone. And.
Oh, never mind. Oh, the band decided not to play. Here we go.
They're out to lunch. Here we go.
Here we go. Band is ready.
And. Yes. Thank you. And that going over that part will serve us as well, believe me. I'd like to go through measure 10 this time because I want you to look at measure 8. And it's the only place in the music other than the ending and the 2 pauses. It's the only place in the music where the band phrases together, where the music isn't overlapping and we all breathe together. And please make a note of it. You need to breathe on the downbeat of 3. You'll listen to this in the recording. It's a very subtle break, but there's a reason for this, and I'll try and share that with you a little later if I remember. So what I'd like to do, I would like to do this all the way to measure 10 this time, from the very beginning, and focus on that break on 3. 1, 2, break, 4, 5. Boom. Okay? I mean, it's not a whole quarter note, but whatever you do, put a break in there. Take a relaxed breath. Here we go, from the beginning. And. That's it. That's where you break, right in there on 3. Body, breath, body, da, dum. Okay? Yeah, you can hear from the recording. It's subtle, but it's there. The music needs that break. And I'll tell you why a little bit later, at least why I think it is. When phrasing all the way through here, other than there, listen and phrase with the recording. Let the recording be your guide. Joe's just picked out a marvelous recording. I think this recording is just absolutely excellent. The soloists are there, the sections are strong, all inner voices are there, the intonation is what it should be, and I think the interpretation of the music, although difficult for us to recreate, it's spot on. So listen for the phrasing all the way through, okay? Clarinets. You guys are over here to my left. I miss you. And I love our clarinet section. But I just want to point out to you that find measure 21, everyone. That after the break, that's when that's after the very first stop in the music. At the end of that section, the clarinets come in, and the first clarinets come in, and then the seconds and thirds join in, and then he builds from there. Remember, Pat was a clarinetist, and I mean he's showing his cards right there. There's no two ways about it. Pat's just showing you exactly what he wants to do. Listen, I want to practice 20 to 21. Now Joe's working here. I'd like to go through these two places where the music stops and restarts so that you can kind of get a feel for it. So I want to go from 20 to 21. If we could do that, Joe. Okay. Now, everyone, you can't see what I'm seeing. Joe not only created this click track with the music, but right now there's a 43-inch monitor in front of me with the beat, and I can see it. And Joe's created that for places just like this. So remember, this will stop and then restart. So be ready for it, okay? I'll do the best I can to stop and then to start where it's supposed to, okay? I am watching a click track, but this is new to me. Here we go. Let's give it a try. Where are we starting, Joe?
Measure 20, right?
Yes. We can start right on measure 20, you guys. On the hold.
Is that what you want?
Or I'm sorry, no, just dee ah dee dum dum.
Yes.
Okay.
Downbeat of measure 20.
Downbeat of measure 20. Everyone, you got it? Okay. I may subdivide and I may not. So, if I'm inspired, I'll do one thing one way and something the other. Here we go. Measure 20, please. And. Okay. Yes. And can we do that one more time,
Yes,
Joe?
I started you a beat early.
Oh, that's okay.
That's why it sounded
It
good.
is not, it's not a problem. Everybody, you see how tricky that is. That's when you have to look. And don't put the pressure on me here, please.
Okay. I think I've got it right now.
Joe's got it right in front of me. I'm just trying to follow along. Sometime he's going to have to video recording just to share with everybody how much fun this is. You all need to do this sometime. Same place, please. Measure 20, everyone. And. Okay, that was better. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I'll try and be just as, everybody look up here, please. Watch me a little bit. As you conduct in a slow tempo like this, a conductor has a lot of decisions to make. One of them is, can I just do this? Where's the beat? I don't know. It's in there somewhere. Or they can give you kind of an ictus in the beat so you see exactly where that beat is. There's that click, that ictus that's going on, that little bit of a snap. So sometimes I'll use the snap and sometimes I won't. I'll use it where I think it applies and where I'm comfortable, and I won't use it when I'm not comfortable. So we'll just do the best we can with this. All right, the next place, the music stops at 46 to 47. I'd like to practice that, and then we'll practice the ending, and then we'll run this thing. So if you could find 46 to 47, please. Again, there's a stop here, and then a restart. So, Joe, wherever we can start, I'm good. Tell me where we are.
4 before 50.
4 measures before 50. It's a great place. On those that measure with the fermata, right? Okay, here we go, everyone. Ready? And yeah, and let's do that again, okay? I'm going to practice along with you. One more time. And yeah, and notice that click, when it comes back in, you're immediately back into the pretty much the original tempo, the 4/4 tempo. Yeah, okay, that'll work.
So
that'll work.
Just to be clear, the cutoff is the downbeat of 3 before 50?
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, Joe. Absolutely. Thank you, and I have that in my notes. But who follows notes at this point? What happens here, please, is the cutoff, boom, is right on measure 47. And the trumpets come in on the second. And okay, I won't say anything about the trumpets being the coolest instruments. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. But the coolest instruments in the band come in on the second beat. So notice, there's the fermata, dee-da, and it goes on and it goes on and it goes on, and I'm watching the monitor, and then 1, dee-da-dee, 4, 1. So it's 1, and everybody, you cut on 1, stop, trumpets, 3 on 2. Fair enough? And I'd like to practice just the very ending if we can, Joe. Getting that cut off at the end, he holds this, the conductor holds this quite long, this last note, so be prepared for that, please. Here, where can we start, Joe?
Could we go back to 50, or do you?
Absolutely,
Okay,
not a
50 is-
problem. Everybody, we are at 50.
Yep, at 50.
And notice what he does here. This is so cool. Dee-ba-dum. What a neat way to start a song or a melody. What a cool way to get things going. Does Pat have this right? You can count on it. Here we go. Right on 50. And yes. Yeah. I didn't do that very well. I'll do better when we record it.
He always stretches 1
Oh.
and 5 so much.
What a challenge. I can't tell you, the band, how many times I have been through this piece. And as you all know, I've probably conducted it a gazillion times. And it still is a challenge. But that's the fun part of it. You know, why make it easy, for goodness sakes? Let's get awake and do it. Okay, I'm going to end up with a couple of comments, and then please refer. This is a rehearsal video. This is designed. We put this together. Joe makes this available, and if you were looking at his videos and his rehearsal videos, you see how absolutely valuable they are. So whatever you do, please don't be afraid to come back and have a look at this. I think it's of value to sing this to yourself. If you can't, try and sing it in your head while you're going, and think of the words that you would write to it as you're doing this. All the way throughout here, there's a sense of longing, a sense of sometimes a sense of urgency. I feel that in the 4/4 at places. Where there's just a feeling of let's get there where we're going, but I also think there's a real relaxed feeling of being home. Pat wrote this for us, and for those of you who don't know, Hometown. It wasn't a couple of years after we started our association with Pat Burns. I went into my mailbox one morning, and there it was, the score to Hometown. I had no idea. And I looked at it. I can't remember if it was no, I'm dating myself there. I think it was a cassette. But at any rate, I can't remember if he had a recording with it. And it would have been just a realization at that point, a synthesized realization. But at any rate, I looked at it, and it almost brought me to tears when I realized this wonderfully talented gentleman felt the way he did about us and about what we're doing. And to me, this song was about friendship. It's about everything that's involved with being a friend, to each other, to the music, making this music friendly, so forth and so on. It's got to be heartfelt. I could go through this music and we could analyze and say, this is this, this is this, and this is that. But you don't get caught up in the trees. You got to keep the forest in mind. This is indeed a heartfelt piece of music by Pat. And again, go back and refer to this as you want to. Oh, shoot, I don't have my notes here. Yeah, I'll talk while you go get it, Joe. It should be right over there. It's the comments by Pat. Thanks, Joe. That's what happens, everybody, when you're 74. No comment from my wife. Let me, of course, at the top of the page, it says dedicated to Bel Air Community Band. Here, let me, the inspiration for this comes from a poem by Garrett, Keillor, I think. Garrison Keillor, yeah. And if any of you are NPR fans, you'll hear the show. You used to hear the show, well, it's still on the air, but you used to hear the show on Saturdays during, right before lunch or during lunch. I forget when it was. I think it was called Prairie Home Companion. I think that was the show. It's a radio show, obviously, NPR. And it's from the poem, One More Spring in Minnesota. And it has to do with two friends who are separated and then come back together again, have the opportunity to renew their friendship. Quote Pat Burns, I wrote Hometown for Scott Sharnetzka and the Bel Air Maryland Community Band. This fine ensemble has been incredibly supportive of my music, and I wanted to express my gratitude to them by writing a piece for them. Surprise. Wow. Hometown is a musical depiction of my impressions of beautiful Harford County, Maryland, and the people I know there. The words of Garrison Keller capture the idea of this piece wonderfully. And here they are, everyone. That yard, the tree you climbed, it once was me. And we talked of cities that we'd live in someday. I left, old friend, and now I'm back again. Please say you missed me since I went away. I think this speaks for itself. So, we're going to have a go at this in a minute. We good, Joe? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to go get dressed up in my funny outfit, and then we'll have a go at this. Okay, everyone?